So where do you prefer to play games at? The PS5, Nintendo Switch, the Xbox Series X, or YouTube? It's Sunday, happy Pride, let's get sensational. I'm Mike and I'm on YouTube along with video games now. So I previously reported that YouTube had been testing out games with select users, but there was no word on when it would officially be rolling out. At first, there was only a handful of games, and I thought it was kind of weird, so I was wondering if it would make it through testing. Well, now it looks like YouTube's Playables has officially launched. Kinda. So YouTube Playables has launched with 75 games that are playable through the iPhone YouTube app and through a browser. For some reason, it's not on the Android YouTube app, even though Google owns both Android and YouTube. But anyway, it's still only available for select users, and they'll be rolling it out to more people within the next few months. So these are mobile games, like games you would typically find on a phone app store. And yeah, the rollout is kind of weird. My husband, for example, already has the option for Playables, and I don't, and we're under the same main YouTube account. So that's how weird this rollout is. But if you've had the chance to try out Playables, let me know what you think about it down in the comments. And while you do that, I'm going to address the elephant in the room, and that's if Call of Duty is coming to Game Pass on day one or not. So the last 2 weeks, there's been a rumor that Microsoft was going to announce Call of Duty Black Ops 6 coming to Game Pass on day one. And then last week, it was narrowed down to the upcoming Call of Duty event on June 9th. And then a few days ago, I got an email from Xbox saying that it was coming to Game Pass on day one. So yeah, apparently there was some kind of debacle with the announcement where it went out on the 28th, but it accidentally got sent too early, so the link to the announcement didn't actually work. But yeah, I guess they decided to just get ahead of the event and go ahead and announce that it was coming to Game Pass on day one. Like I mentioned last week, it would have been weird if they didn't put it on Game Pass on day one. But either way, as a Game Pass subscriber, I'm definitely going to check it out when it drops. But of course, Xbox is the only one that had a bunch of stuff going on. PlayStation has had a lot going on, as they recently had a State of Play. And during that State of Play, they announced a couple of games were coming to PC. Most notably, God of War Ragnarok is coming September 19th, and the Until Dawn remake is launching sometime in fall. There's not an exact date that was given for that game. But the thing that's been stirring up some trouble with the announcement is that both games will require a PSN account. They recently had a bunch of backlash when trying to enforce the PSN requirement for Helldivers 2 months after it was already out, and they had sold the game in countries that didn't even have PSN. And then that kind of carried on with Ghost of Tsushima recently, as Epic and Steam started refunding people who pre-ordered the game in countries that didn't have PSN since it required PSN for online play. But the single player in that game was still playable without an account. But now both of these games, which are single player games, will now require a PSN account. With the launch of Ghost of Tsushima, they did add their PC overlay and add trophy support for that game. So I'm sure that's why they're making this a requirement for these upcoming games. But in a single player game, I feel like it's a bit unnecessary to make it a requirement. Now for me personally, it wouldn't stop me from buying the PC version of those games, but I do feel like it's a bit unnecessary. But outside of the whole PSN account backlash, there's way bigger issues going on in the gaming industry in general, with revenue being down and pretty much everyone doing layoffs recently, including Sony. So it's not surprising that their new CEO that's in charge of their game studios, Herman Hulst, was asked about keeping costs down during a business update right before their State of Play on May 29th. He basically said that in the future they'll be looking at outsourcing and co-developing some of their games as a way to keep costs in line. As the GameSpot article points out, their budgets for Last of Us Part 2 and Horizon Forbidden West got leaked, and they both cost over $200 million to make, which is part of the reason that they're looking to save as much money as they can on development costs. Of course, this isn't great because it means less jobs at PlayStation in the future if they decide to go this route and do outsourcing and co-development for some of their upcoming games. Of course, this was more of just hosts saying that they were looking into it, but not saying that they're 100% going to do that. But there is one thing that we know that they're doing to help with their revenue, and that's making a push for PC. And one thing that they announced that they were doing was bringing PSVR 2 to PC sometime this year. And basically, that's all we've heard since February. Well, a document has been discovered from March of this year, as from a Korean filing, for a PSVR 2 PC adapter. So this was filed the month after they talked about bringing PC compatibility to PSVR 2. So hopefully that means it's close to coming to market, because it would be a great PC headset for the price. Of course, you would have to add the price of the adapter, however much that's going to cost for it to work. Now, there is a reason that Sony needs to create an adapter for this headset on PC that I haven't talked about previously. Even though the headset is USB-C, it needs Virtual Link to work on PC. Virtual Link is available on certain graphics cards, but specifically it was NVIDIA's 20 series cards and AMD's RX 6000 series cards. So yeah, those cards are a little old now, so people probably aren't going to specifically have those ones unless they just have had them since they came out. But apparently there used to be a Virtual Link adapter for PC, but it's been discontinued for a while now, so that's why Sony has to create an adapter for this to work. It's also part of the reason why like the homebrew community had issues making the headset work on PC. Either way, I hope to see PSVR 2 on PC at some point this year. They've officially got 6 months left. And I'm sure within that time, we may even have a new handheld on the market, perhaps from Zotac. That's what we're talking about today. And our final story. So it appears Zotac is ready to step in the ring against the Steam Deck and the other handhelds on the market. I don't know why I'm doing this. As they've been teasing now what appears to be a handheld. So if you're not familiar with Zotac, they make PC components, primarily graphics cards. So it's a little weird that they're stepping into this market. They haven't officially announced anything yet, but it appears details of the new device have leaked. So it's rumored that this device is going to have an AMD Ryzen 8840U, and that has Radeon 78M integrated graphics. It's going to have 16 gigs of DDR5 RAM, 512 gig SSD, Hall effects, thumbsticks, and triggers, and the biggest thing is it's going to have 120 Hz OLED display. So if this is true, this could be an interesting handheld, especially if the ergonomics and the software support are good. Now, it's not confirmed if this will be just 120 Hz or if it'll have an adaptive frame rate, but either way, the only OLED PC handheld we have right now that's reasonably priced is the Steam Deck. And it's great, but it's only 90 Hertz, and the Steam Deck doesn't have the most powerful hardware in the market now, so it'd be nice to have an alternative to the deck if the price is right. Of course, there's also the ROG Ally X, which is supposed to be officially revealed today, but since I'm recording this video the day before, I won't be able to tell you about it, but we basically know the hardware is going to be the same as the current Ally. A picture of it has leaked as well, but I bring up the ROG Ally to say that if Zotac can sell this OLED 120 Hz handheld for around the same price as the Ally, the competition is really going to heat up. But let me know in the comments if you're excited about this rumored Zotac handheld. Again, let me know down below. And if you enjoyed this video, then make sure to tell a friend, tell a coworker, like, share, and subscribe, and hit that bell notification button thing. Get notified when I drop a video or a live stream. And I always do at least 2 things at the same time.